Hello all, welcome back to our channel. Today we will discuss about ASEAN and why they have potential to be the next economic giant in the world stage. ASEAN, or the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, is a regional intergovernmental organization that promotes political and economic cooperation among its member countries. It emerged from the early initiatives of the mid-20th century, with Indonesian diplomats proposing the idea of collaboration during the Bogor meeting in 1947. The Bandung Conference of 1955 further emphasized the importance of common interests among Asian and African nations. This culminated in the formation of ASEAN in 1967, when Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand signed the ASEAN Declaration, officially establishing the organization in the city of Bangkok. Over time, ASEAN expanded its membership to include some of other Southeast Asian countries. Brunei Darussalam joined in 1984, followed by Vietnam in 1995, Laos and Myanmar in 1997, and the last, but not least, Cambodia in 1999, completing the membership of 10 Southeast Asian nations at that time. Meanwhile, East Timor, after granting independence in 1999, has gained status of observer in ASEAN and on process to joining the association in 2023. ASEAN members are some of the fastest growing economies, not only in region, but also in the world. Countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines have GDP growth over 5%. Indonesia alone is one of G20 members and has more than $1 trillion GDP. Make it at least 16th largest economy in the world. Also shockingly, ASEAN has a combined GDP of $3.7 trillion, making it at least 5th largest economy in the world, beating India, the UK, France, and Russia. And it's just the beginning. The region has experienced sustained economic growth. Between 2000 and 2019, ASEAN's GDP grew by an average of around 5.3% annually. With that kind of growth, ASEAN will reach almost $6 trillion GDP in 2030. Almost double what we get today.
Welcome you to this landmark gathering, the first U.S.-ASEAN summit hosted by the United States. This reflects my personal commitment and the national commitment of the United States to a strong and enduring partnership with your 10 nations individually and to Southeast Asia as one region, as one community, ASEAN.
ASEAN is strategically located at the crossroads of major trade routes between the East and West. In Strait Malacca alone, there are more than 300 ships crossing each day. This means more than 100,000 ships passing through per year, making it one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. To add to the benefit of the Malacca Strait, China and India, two of the world's fastest growing economies, also pass through ASEAN to ship or import their goods. Meanwhile, according to the U.S. Energy Information Agency, EIA, in 2016, approximately 16 million barrels of crude oil and 3.2 million barrels of liquefied natural gas, LNG, were transported daily through the ASEAN waters. This kind of volume is the second largest volume in the world after the Strait of Hormuz, which connecting the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean. Like most Asian countries, China is heavily dependent on hydrocarbon imports. Apart from its main supplier and partner, Russia, other significant sellers are located in the Middle East or Africa. Consequently, more than 70% of the PRC's petroleum and LNG exports is shipped through the Strait of Malacca and ASEAN waters, which makes it a crucial route from the standpoint of China's energy security policy. Not just that, according to calculations by the Center for Strategic and International Studies, about 20% of global maritime trade and 60% of China's trade flows are moved through the Strait and ASEAN waters, making it the most important sea line of communication for the Chinese economy. This makes China wants to maintain good relationship with almost all of Southeast Asia countries. despite of many disputed region and area. As a crucial international shipping route, ensuring freedom of navigation through the ASEAN waters is vital to global trade. This has led to international interest in maintaining open and secure access to the area. Countries with interests in the region, including the littoral states, have conducted naval exercises and patrols to ensure security and cooperation. These activities aim to enhance interoperability, strengthen maritime capabilities, and respond to potential security threats. The Marine Department of Malaysia reports that annually, the Straits of Malacca and Singapore alone are traversed by about 100 foreign military vessels, which may include cruisers, frigates, destroyers, and submarines. The other aspect of benefit, ASEAN's population exceeds 650 million people, with a significant portion being young and in the working age group. A large labor force can contribute to economic growth, productivity, and innovation if they can manage it carefully. With all of benefit we have mentioned before, it is easy to think that ASEAN will be one of major player both in political and economic field. But, though ASEAN has a lot of potential, they also have some disturbing weaknesses. Countries like Myanmar are still embroiled in civil war and coup. And others have political issues like flawed elections. Wide economic disparities among ASEAN member countries can also hinder cohesive economic growth and integration. For example, while Singapore has GDP per capita $64,191, Laos in the other hand has only $1,486 for its per capita GDP. This is just as far and almost unheard of in other regions. The other aspect is insufficient infrastructure. While Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam invest more than $128 billion for infrastructure in 2020. The rest of ASEAN just invest no more than $7.3 billion. Corruption also still one of the largest obstacles of ASEAN to become economic giant. While countries like Singapore are relatively safe for investor, ranking in top 3 on the world, as Corruption Perception Index. Countries like Cambodia and Myanmar ranking at almost the lowest in the rank. Position at 160 and 137 on the World Index respectively. Nevertheless, despite all of the challenges, ASEAN's bright economic future is a testament to its unwavering commitment to progress and collaboration. As the region leverages its strengths, embraces innovation, and navigates the evolving global landscape, the promise of economic growth, shared prosperity, and a thriving community becomes ever more palpable. ASEAN's economic future is full of optimism, potential, and the collective pursuit of a prosperous tomorrow.